This time on Burnouts and Rotorblades, we're putting an exhaust on the Vega. And over here is everything, that's not everything I need. But I hope it's close. It won't be. Welcome to the Burnouts and Rotorblades YouTube channel. Let's go do something awesome. We're still waiting on parts for the cooling system, and well, I bought a set of headers, so those are going to go on next. These particular headers are made specifically for small box Chevrolet swapped H-bodies with the stock steering shaft, but you'll probably still need to massage them to fit, especially on the passenger side. These street application headers are part number CC13, and the stats are 1.5 inch primaries and 2.5 inch collectors. Sanderson Headers' claim to fame is the no gasket needed design, by which they mean you can use RTV. They recommend Permatex 82180 Ultra Black, but I used Ultra Copper Max Temp Formula 81878 on the headers and V-bands with great success. Either way, I would recommend following their 24-hour cure time guidance. So let's get all the old exhaust off and the steering components out of the way so we can get these installed. Got the tune-up pretty well dialed on these. I'll just go ahead and reiterate that removal of the steering shaft is 100% necessary. I'll just go ahead and shamelessly plug the steering joint video right there as well. I should mention, on the driver's side, I did loosen the motor mount and used this engine support bar from Cheap Tool World to gain the last bit of necessary clearance. Link to the motor mount video should appear. Oh, there it is. Oh wow, it just falls right in now. This thing is really handy, and as you can see, moves the motor quite a bit. It's highly recommended that if you're going to weld on your car's frame, go ahead and disconnect the battery. Even if it doesn't have a computer on board, you never know. Plus, we just installed that fan controller in there, and I don't want to chance it. The muffler we're using is a Flowmaster 80 series cross-flow muffler, part number 42582, with 2.5 inch inlets and outlet to match the 2.5 inch tubing we're using for the rest of the exhaust. That is so awesome. Now, Flowmaster makes a muffler that goes over the axle kind of in this configuration for Gen 2 Camaros, but I wasn't 100% sure it would fit. So I decided to cut up this $150 unit straight out of the box. Making sure to avoid cutting into any of the baffling inside the muffler, I hogged out some holes and welded everything together. I then used the leftover pieces to cap the now unused inlets. These caps proved handy when attaching hangers to the mufflers. The last step in setting up our muffler going to the Vega was the addition of these V-band clamps, which I'll talk about more later. Once the muffler was positioned, it was time to install the hangers to keep it there permanently. Hangers can be bent easily with a MAP gas torch and a box end wrench. Make sure to remove any carpet inside the car to prevent setting the interior on fire prior to welding. Ready?
Yeah. When that turns on, it gets dark.
What?
Yeah.
It does? Ready?
Yeah.
Do you want to weld something?
Yeah.
Let me get a piece of metal for you to weld. Now you're going to weld this, and we're going to weld on top of it, right? Just in a line, just like this right here. You want to watch me do it one time, or you just want to do it?
I just want to do it.
Okay. Squeeze it. Easy, easy, easy. Wow. Okay, let's slow down a little bit. All right, ready?
Can I see it?
Oh, that's not good. Here, let's try again. Ready?
Okay.
Don't bite me, don't bite me. Whoa, that looks pretty cool, huh? You want to touch it?
Oh.
Don't touch it, crazy! You made a weld?
Yeah, I want to try it again.
I finally got to put my welding table to use properly, using some old bolts that I had laying around from an engine teardown out of the family burnout wagon to create a holding fixture that'll allow me to use a speed square to accurately measure the angles in the exhaust tubing.
And 90. And I marked them all, and they're correct.
This was important because one of the first pieces I needed to create was a little jog that would go right up and over the transmission cross member.
Separation just behind the transmission cross member, so we're going to put this guy here, let that protrude through just a little bit, and I don't want to final weld anything just yet. I'm just going to throw a tack on it, and I like to do 3 tacks. Another thing I'm going to say about whenever you're doing your mandrel bends, or whenever you're using these pre-bent mandrel bends, spend the time to make these joints look nice. And even though you say to yourself, oh, it doesn't matter, I can fill this with weld, I'm going to tell you right now, it looks like dog doo-doo whenever you do that. You really want these to look nice. Even this gap right here is a pretty big gap, and it's going to change the way your weld bead looks around. Now we'll go fit this up on the car and make sure that we like the way it is. Before we go any further, I just want to say my hat is off to you guys that do professional exhaust building, because this is not easy. That being said, here is the right hand side header collector pipe all the way back to, just this one will just hang just over the transmission cross member. It's all tacked together, and now I'll probably finish out tonight, just finish welding all this stuff, and we'll pick back up in the morning. Well, I stayed up last night. I went ahead and finished this up, and I'm going to hit it up with the flap wheel and knock off all the burrs and stuff and all the dingleberries from the MIG welding. I don't know if you can see these welds right here, but I got tired of this thing sliding down so far whenever I was trying to install it, so I just went ahead and put these 3 little tack welds here so that it can only go down so far. There's 2 basic styles of band clamps that you can get for your project. Now you have the butt up style band clamp, and you have a slide through style band clamp. Even though I have a little bit of each, I much prefer the slide through style because this is the same diameter as your actual tubing for your exhaust, and it allows you to slide it back just a little bit so that whenever you go to mate up your next piece has somewhere to rest on, so you can slide your next fit piece in there. And this type of band clamp, even though it looks exactly the same, the inside diameter doesn't allow you to slide it over the top, and you just butt it up against it and weld to it. It's mostly to do with inside diameter. Whenever you're installing these band clamps, you want to make sure that you only slide through just a little bit, probably about a 1/16, maybe maximum of 1/8 of an inch, and it'll let you center up your piece a little bit better so it doesn't actually slide off there anymore, and then whenever you go to put your clamp around it, it'll seal up even better. Let's go fit it on the car. So I've already done most of the exhaust, and what I'm going to do now is walk you through step by step of the process that I use to cut and fit the pieces. Now the 3 main ways that I cut my exhaust tubing is either with this chop saw, this precision instrument here, or the death wheel that's over there on the workbench where it belongs. For the straightest cuts, I recommend a chop saw, but you can use whatever you have. This is only mild steel, just keeping it simple. I just want a nice functional exhaust that looks decent. Well, with the 200 some odd horsepower that this little 283 puts out, it's not gonna put up any big numbers on the dyno either. Oh, gotta plug it in first. Well, now that it's cut, the end of this thing looks like doo-doo. So let's go over to the bench grinder and clean it all up. Next, we're going to true it up to make sure it's perfectly smooth, round. I got some junk on the inside to get out of there. Next, we'll finish it up with a little bit of file work, and then we'll hit it with the wire wheel. What I have left to do is the tailpipes. I've already installed one tailpipe and I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to do the other tailpipe. All the steps are pretty important, but tailpipes are one of the most visual pieces that you're going to be able to see whenever you walk to and from your car. And you don't want them to be, you know, pointed off in different directions or one up and one down. You don't want any of that stuff. You want them to look good. So, you know, a fair amount of time is going to be spent just kneeling down, staring at the back of your car, trying to make sure that, you know, it all looks right and you're going to be happy with it. Let's go ahead and set up the jack stands. What are you doing? Let's go ahead and set up the jack stands and set up our tailpipe the way we want it and make sure it looks right before we start fitting up pieces. What are you doing? Alright, so we take our zip tie, just kind of let it relax, take our pin, mark out a line, and then we can cut it with our precise cutting instrument. Clean it up with the bench grinder. Now I've already prepped up this angle piece. You just kind of got to visualize it. There's no real like measurement technique or anything that I know of. It just make it happen, Captain. So I went ahead and tacked on part of this V-bend clamp onto this little angle. We'll go ahead and throw it on. Now we're just going to tighten it down until it doesn't wiggle, but it can still rotate. So now we have our tailpipe here. We've got this little pipe here, and I'm going to take this 90-degree angle and kind of just use my eyeballs to figure out where I think it's going to go, you know, what angle is going to go best towards it. And I'm totally just eyeballing this. There's no measurements. Alright, we're going to take the zip tie right here. You know, we're still eyeballing everything up to make sure it looks decent. I'm going to take my trusty pin here. That barely works. I'll mark around. Take my precision cutter here. Safety glasses on for safety third. I mean, that's pretty close. Let's go clean it up on the bench grinder. And the next part is just to kind of hold it up there and hope that we made the right decision on angle, and it looks like it's going to head right for our exhaust. Now it's just as important to kind of know your body lines. So if I'm going from this inside edge of the taillight here, I'm going to line up the edge of my tubing with that. And if we move over to the other side, the inside edge of the tubing is with the inside edge of that light. Back side is... Alright, and the last thing to do is put on this tailpipe hanger, just like I did on this side, over on this side. And really, I should be able to drop this and this now, and we get to see what it looks like. And the next time you guys see it, it'll be done. And as promised, here it is, all done up. Nice little gap between the body. It's more than it looks like. It's really about a ½ inch up there. And honestly, the whole system is actually done. All the way up to the muffler. Tucks in real nice, plenty of room. Make up for any like slight misalignments. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this RTV that's for exhausts. Same stuff I use whenever I installed the headers. And put a nice little coat on the flanges of the mid pipes. I'll do the tailpipes too probably. And it sits for 24 hours. When I was in the military, we had spiral wound gaskets that would go in between. Since I don't want to spend $13 per gasket to buy new ones, I'll just spend $7 on a thing of RTV for a little insurance. That's totally worth it. The exhaust on the Vega now is awesome. It makes a great noise. I am happy with it. It doesn't rub anywhere. It doesn't do anything I don't want it to do. You can hear me talk right now, and there's a Flowmaster on the back of it. There's no drone. I'm doing 30 miles an hour in first. Oh, this thing's so fun! It tucks up in there so nicely. You can fit 2.5-inch exhaust on a Chevy Vega with Sanderson headers. It all fits, it all works, it's all awesome. It doesn't hang down, it doesn't drag the ground. It takes a little bit of time. The U-bends were amazing. I would highly recommend it. If you want to put 2.5-inch exhaust on your Vega for your LS swap, for your small block swap, it works, it fits, it's awesome. You can totally do it. I would highly recommend it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit the like down below. We'll see you next time. Thanks. What did that box do to you?